Episode 366, The Bomber. Alex decided he had had enough. It was time to make these reporters leave them alone. Alex moved so stealthily through the crowd that not a single person noticed what he was doing. While the reporters were busy shouting out their complaints, they each suddenly felt their cameras being snatched out of their hands. They heard a series of smashes and crashes. When they looked at the ground and realized they were staring at a pile of smashed cameras and other filming equipment, they went crazy. The cameras, microphones, and cell phones that they had been carrying had all been smashed to pieces by Alex. The Moon Girls cheered when they saw what Alex had done. They were impressed by his decisive actions. They were supposed to help, but he hadn't given them a chance. They were still slightly dazzled by what had just happened as they stared at the broken equipment lying at their feet. "Leave now, or next time it won't just be your cameras that get broken," Alex told the reporters. As he spoke, his eyes stayed locked on the reporter who had first argued with him. The man had stayed well away from him, so had managed to keep hold of his camera. The other reporters started to yell at Alex. "How dare you?" one asked. "Where are you from?" asked another. "You have to pay for the damage you've done, and you should be arrested. What kind of man are you?" demanded another. The reporters were angry, but all they did was stand and yell. They were a little afraid of Alex after what he had done, and didn't want to provoke him into attacking them. The Moon Maidens hoped that someone would attack their lord so that they could protect him and teach the reporters a lesson. Alex was aware that there were both good and bad reporters. He knew that some could be reasoned with, some would need to be flattered, and others would only respond to aggression. He glared at the man who had argued with him. When the other reporters saw the violence in his eyes, they stepped back to allow him through. None of them dared to stop him. "You, come here," he said to the reporter. "Stop pretending to be a journalist. The Blood Brothers talk a lot of rubbish, pretending to be respectable, but you can never wash off the smell of being a gangster," he continued. "The Blood Brothers?" When Celeste heard Alex mention the name of the gang, she suddenly had a feeling that something was badly wrong. She quickly went over and took another look at the reporter. Other reporters were also shocked. Who are the Blood Brothers? Was there a story they should be chasing? Some of the more quick-thinking journalists started searching the internet on their phones for more information about the Blood Brothers. When he heard Alex accusing him of pretending to be a journalist, the man froze. He glanced at the exits, but realized they were all blocked by the Moon Girls. He was surprised and said, "Why do you think you know me? And why do you say I'm not a journalist?" "Simple. You have a sense of desperation. Other journalists don't have the same bloody smell that you have," Alex replied. The other reporters were surprised by Alex's reply. They wondered, what kind of desperation and bloody smell? What's going on? They were confused. Alex stared into the man's eyes and asked, "Did you put the bomb in the car? Why do you kill people? Is the world too beautiful for you?" The man was flustered. Alex had exposed him in front of so many people. Those reporters who were looking for a juicy story got exactly what they wanted. The fake reporter was a sinister killer with a bomb. The man started to panic and looked for a way that he could escape and hide. When he realized that he couldn't escape, he smiled. "I'll be honest with you," he said. "There's a bomb in my camera that's large enough to blow up the whole building. If you let me go now, you might live. If you don't mind dying, all I need to do is press the shutter." Everyone panicked because they could see that the man was serious. Although they weren't completely sure that they could believe him, they weren't prepared to take the gamble. With a smile on his face, he said, "Alex, you're right. Next time I'll disguise my emotions better. Or I'll command someone with the right temperament to do the job for me." "So you're one of the gang leaders. Are your men around here?" Alex asked. "Two of them died and the others are occupied elsewhere. That's why I'm here in person." The man was still smiling eerily. It made the reporters shiver. "Well, I'm in a similar situation," Alex smiled. "Really? I've never met such a fierce opponent before, but it makes no difference. I don't need to fight you because I can simply detonate this bomb and finish the story here. I'd also like to thank these reporters for covering this story," the bomber said proudly. "Well, it's a pity that your plan is flawed. You can try it, but I promise you that I won't die, and neither will anyone else here." Alex looked even calmer than the bomber. He had the air of a cat playing with a mouse. The bomber was dismayed for a moment. His confidence began to falter, but then his smugness returned. He said, "Ha! You must be joking. This is a special bomb. Its explosive force will blow up everyone here. You're strong and fast, and you might well be able to get out of the way in time, but what about your friends? And what about all these innocent reporters? If they die, it'll all be your fault." Alex frowned and replied calmly, "I said that my friends will be okay. They will walk away from here. As for these reporters, they have nothing to do with me. If you want to blow them up, just please get on with it. Stop wasting my time." A female reporter stood up and yelled, "Stop! What are you doing? He's clearly a lunatic. Why are you letting him do this?" Alex ignored her. His eyes never left the killer, ensuring that he would see even the slightest movements that the man made. The bomber hesitated. He planned to use the reporters as hostages to help him escape. But it was clear that Alex didn't care whether he let the bomb off or about the lives of the journalists. He wasn't sure what to do. "Alex, don't force me to detonate the bomb. I don't believe you could survive it," he said as he pretended to get ready to detonate the bomb. "Hurry up. I'm tired of waiting. Let's just see what happens," Alex replied casually. "Seriously, though, what sort of leader are you when you're so afraid of death?" At that moment, the wail of a siren could be heard approaching the distance. And moments later, 3 police cars roared up outside. As soon as the cars stopped, 10 Special Forces police officers rushed toward them. The lights on their cars were flashing, and the atmosphere was chaotic. The killer grinned. He looked at the police and said, "Alex, you can't hurt me now.